Great day, Tasting Elegance family. Dr. Tony Hatton here, your Break the Cycle specialist. I want you to understand that this opportunity that you have right now to attend the greatest love of all Valentine's Day experience is a defining moment because we are a mental shift from the norm. What is a mental shift from the norm? An opportunity for you to step out of the routine of life. I want you to think about that for a moment. The routine of life, coming and going and doing and our checking off things on our to-do list and, not really, think about it. If you're in a routine or you're doing the same thing all the time or you're not really excited to wake up in the morning. And even if you are, if you're still stuck in a routine and you want something new or you want to change in your life or some type of transformation or you want to create something new, we need a mental shift from the norm. We need to step out of that routine. And a lot of times it's difficult because habits are sometimes hard to break. Habits are comfortable. And stepping out of your routine can cause discomfort. It could be unfamiliar. You can feel lost. You can feel like you're not connected because you're so used to that routine. Tasting Elegance is a mental shift from the norm. Give you an opportunity to dream again, to create again, to fortify yourself again, to be around other leaders who are doing exactly what you're doing, taking a non-negotiable approach to being healthy. That's what Tasting Elegance is all about, sharing natural alternatives with you so that while you're creating, while you're leading in your life, you can be healthy, energetic, live a long time, feel great. I love waking up in the morning feeling great. I didn't always have that. Sometimes I didn't have the energy that I needed. My mind is always creating something because that's who we are. We were blessed to create. We were told to increase, multiply, to have dominion, to be fruitful. So it's our nature to create. And when you're creating, in order to fully create at your best and reach your optimal levels of success, you have to feel fantastic and amazing. You have to have that energy level at a place where as your day, you run out before your day does. Or your day runs out before you do. I always say that, because I have a health coaching group that I run and I support attractive thinkers in these natural alternatives, showing them how to find what's in. Look through your kitchen cabinets and in your refrigerator. Find your natural alternatives, your medicine. Your food is your medicine. Find it in your kitchen. A lot of times when we don't know what to do, we end up settling or conforming to what's available. And a lot of times we may not want to. You may not want to take what's available or take that medicine or that supplement or whatever it is that's being offered to you. You may want another option, a healthier option, but when you don't know what to do, you have to settle and conform to what's available, and 9 times out of 10 the side effects are worse than the condition that you're dealing with. So with Tasting Elegance, we decided to come together to share with you some natural alternatives on how to stay healthy, things that you can incorporate in your daily life that aren't even expensive, because your health is your greatest wealth. This is how Tasting Elegance got started. We decided that we wanted to share natural alternatives. We wanted people to be healthy. We wanted to give you options. I know what it feels like to not have options or to think that the only option being presented is the only option available or the only solution. I want you to think about that. I haven't taken prescription drugs in over 20 years. I'll say maybe 24 years now, because at the time I was pregnant with my third child, which was a boy. And I wasn't feeling well. It was like wee hours in the morning. It was like maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, and I had this like massive migraine headache, and it was excruciating. If you've ever experienced or suffer from migraine headaches, you know that you would almost do anything to alleviate that pain. And everyone in the house was asleep, and I was just walking around, and I was out. I want to say I was very early in my pregnancy. I'll say maybe 3 months. And this headache was so bad, I just couldn't shake. It was like almost nauseating. It was making me sick on the stomach. And I said, I can't do it anymore. I'm just pacing the floor, talking and praying and holding my head and trying to tolerate doing anything. Maybe I'll sit this way, or maybe I'll lay this way, or maybe I'll, do some acupressure. How with acupressure, pressing on certain points of my neck and my forehead, and nothing was really relieving that pain. And I took a Tylenol. And as soon as I took the Tylenol, it came right back up. And the headache didn't leave. I had to tolerate it a little bit, because at the time I had already made the decision that I was taking natural alternatives, and I really wasn't the type of person to take medicine. But the headache was so bad, I took a Tylenol. And when it came up, I didn't think anything of it. I said, I'm just going to have to, sit this one out and take care of myself, and hopefully it'll be better in the morning. But when I went to the doctor, and I told the doctor, that I wasn't feeling well, that I had this migraine and this and that and the other, and I told her I had taken the Tylenol, she said, Antoinette, you cannot take Tylenol when you're pregnant because you could have aborted. I want you to think about that for a moment. I could have lost my baby behind that. That was the last time I took a prescription drug. And he's 24. He turned 24 last year. That was the last time I took a prescription drug. And then I began to, even prior to that, I was always health conscious. I was very concerned because as a child, I saw people around me, as they got older, they started passing away. And I didn't understand that. I thought that because you get old, you get sick. And I was relating it to that because when people got older, they started passing away. I didn't know what was going on. So I did some research, because one Saturday, I was sitting in the living room. My father was supposed to come and get me and pick me up to take my piano lessons. And this very nice old man at my church, one of the, I guess he was a deacon at the church. I don't know, but he was a very nice old man. And he was teaching me how to play the piano. My dad would take me to his house, and I remember the room. It was just this beautiful old-fashioned living room. You know how older people back in the day used to have their little doilies laying around, and the room was really nice with the one little lamp in the room, and it was very quiet and peaceful. He had this nice little piano sitting in the living room, and I remember sitting at the piano, and he would show me where the fingers go. My fingers should be on the keys. I would watch his little fingers, and he was an elderly little man. You could see his little knuckles were raised, and then like little old hands, and I enjoyed that time. I was like maybe 14 at the time, and every Saturday I would go and take my piano lessons. But this particular Saturday, I got dressed just like normal. Nothing new, nothing different. I was sitting there waiting for my dad to pick me up, and he didn't come. And time went by. My mom came in the living room, and she said, your dad's not going to pick you up because Deacon so and so passed away. And I was crushed. I got up and I was stunned. I didn't know what to do. And I remember going in my room and sitting there with a tear in the corner of my eye. He was such a sweet old man. And I couldn't figure out what happened. So I asked my mom, I was like, what happened to him? Like, why did he pass away? And she mentioned something about some disease or something like that. And I remember, and if you think back, you may remember as well, the navy blue volumes of the World Book Encyclopedia. Do you remember those? And they were this series, and we had this volume, like maybe 25 books, and lined up that we would use for school. So I remember going to that encyclopedia, and I looked up that condition that he had, and I began to read it. Again, I was like 14 years old, and when I was reading in the encyclopedia about that particular disease, one of the things really stood out to me, and it said about 85% of diseases are due to lifestyle choices. Now, it didn't say that his condition, the reason he passed away was because of something he did. It didn't say that. I was doing research. I looked his condition up, and I began to read further. And the more I read about lifestyle choices and changes in the health and the body and nutrition and all of that, I realized that I had control. I realized that we didn't have to just age and get sick and die. One of the things I've learned also is that the body doesn't just get older. We age and then we die or we get sick. the body ages, and what happens is the body, when you see people get sick as they're getting old, the body is not healthy enough to handle the aging process. I want you to let that sink in. And now I'm not talking about 100% absolutes. I know that there are things that happen in the body, because if you've been following me, you know my story and my experiences with all of my children. But I want you to understand that I would say maybe 80% of what people deal with in their bodies is due to lifestyle choices. What we're eating, how often we're exercising, what we're drinking, toxic things around us, environments and people, toxic thoughts, stress, all of that contributes to how we feel. Now, when you attend one of our Tasting Elegance experiences, you're going to get tools, you're going to get resources, you're going to get real solutions on how to feel great, how to target specific areas of wellness naturally without prescription drugs, with side effects and all that kind of stuff. And I understand that all of that is real, and a lot of times, sometimes it's necessary. But we don't want to, as leaders, we don't want to use prescription drugs as a maintenance, as a lifestyle maintenance, because our food is our medicine. I want you to understand that when you attend our events at tastingelegance.com, you're going to receive real information, real solutions, the things that you can implement immediately and start seeing changes in your body. I am fascinated with the human body because it is amazing. We will never understand it fully. We'll never fully reach its fullest capacity or potential, or figure it all out, because our human bodies were made by a fantastic and amazing God. And it's always something new to discover about yourself. But when you take the time out and experience this mental shift from the norm, you can take what you're learning and experiencing at this event and take it back into your daily lives and begin to implement immediately, and come out of the hustle and bustle of struggling, trying to figure this out and figure that out. As an entrepreneur, I understand clearly, because I coach clients, through private clients and group coaching clients. I've hosted radio for Radio 1, the Attractive Thinker radio program, for 2 years. And as a speaker, I understand, and I come into contact with so many people, and we talk all the time, and I'm always sharing something. Everybody knows when you come into my space, you're going to get something that is going to make your life better, because you hear me say it all of the time. My life's work, that is to make your life better. And I really mean that. I have a passion for helping people reach their goals, a passion for helping people see more clearly, or shifting their perception, helping them to see a different way, coming up with solutions, because we don't want to use our lives to spend our entire life looking for answers. We don't want to spend our entire lives working on a particular goal, stuck in the pursuit of it, and never really acquiring that goal. That's not what life is all about. So at our Tasting Elegance events, I want you to understand that we are a mental shift from the norm. You're going to get something totally different. You're going to hear something you've never heard before. You're going to be treated in a way that you may have never been treated before. You're going to receive insight and clarity. Look at our website, tastingelegance.com, and read the reviews there from our guests, our Tasting Elegance guests who've attended our events, and also our vendors. We treat our vendors extremely well, because I used to be a vendor. I've always been an entrepreneur, but I used to be a vendor as well. And I know how it feels to feel like you're on the outside of the experience and not fully in the experience. And we don't treat our vendors that way. Our vendors attend the events right in the ballroom with us. Our vendors are not sitting on the outside waiting for the event to be over for our guests to engage with the vendors. We love our vendors, and at Tasting Elegance, it's a holistic approach. We take a holistic approach to you accomplishing your vision goals. I want you to think about that. Don't waste any more time. We have a few tables left. Bring your family and friends. It's one thing to reach levels of success by yourself, or be working on your New Year's resolutions and your goals by yourself. But it's another thing. It's totally different when you have people around you that get you. You're talking the same language. They understand you. They understand your faith. Because being an entrepreneur and standing on that big stage of life and fully expressing yourself and playing a bigger game takes a lot of faith. And you have to be around people that have faith and support your faith so that they don't weaken your faith, which also prolongs you from reaching that goal. And if you're being prolonged and held back from reaching your goals, you're also being held back from life. You're being held back from an abundant life, held back from being your fullest expression of yourself. So Tasting Elegance is the place to be on Valentine's Day. Celebrate with us, celebrate yourself. It's all about self-love. If you're single, we're here for you. Tasting Elegance is for you. If you're a couple, Tasting Elegance is for you. If you're married, Tasting Elegance is for you. If it's your anniversary, if you want to be experiencing self-love, you want to say, this is about me, because we had ticket holders that said that. You know, she says, I'm single. I'm not coming with anyone. It's about self-love. I want you to understand that this is what this event is all about. It's about you. A mental shift from the norm to support you in keeping that momentum, staying on fire, and staying lit, and getting the resources that you need to be a bigger version of yourself and express a fuller version of yourself, because there's a greater version of you inside of you. Everything that you need is going to come from inside of you. And it takes an environment to bring that out. It takes the right environment for you to fully express. Dr. Tony Hatton here, your Break the Cycle specialist. Visit the website www.tastingelegance.com and get your ticket. Secure your seat today. You don't want to miss this. Don't be on the outside of life looking in and then seeing all of the pictures, watching all of our videos, and seeing how everyone experienced their transformation at this event, and you just missed your defining moment. So you don't want to be that person. Join in right now. Take the leap, make that decision, and visit the website and secure your seat, because you don't want us to post it. It's going to be posted, but you don't want to be on the other side of that sold out sign. I want you to visit the website, www.tastingelegance.com. And remember, it is not what you're going through, it's how you're viewing it. Think attractively, and I'll see you soon.